I'm a bad motherfucker.
I guess I will read super chats at the end of the show. There's nobody here to really do it. We're working with a skeleton crew. All right. So this is a fun one. James O'Keefe, in his continuing mission to humiliate every gay man working for the deep state, went out and hooked himself a new one. He apparently thinks he needs to fear for his life for these revelations. I don't think they were quite as damning as he seems to think they were. That was O'Keefe, though, who during Russiagate got a CNN producer saying there was nothing there, right? Wasn't that O'Keefe?
I don't recall, but it very well could have been. Sounds like something he'd do.
That's the kind of thing they whack you for. So people familiar with the story coming out tomorrow keep texting me, asking me about fear. I've taken the time to write a careful response. At 39, I've lived a good life. Whether it's complete or not is up to me. What happens next, I don't know. If there's more to come here, so be it. I've learned the pursuit of truth requires extreme risk while operating without a safety net. I've experienced so much. I've lived 10 lives compressed into a fraction of one. It has been an indescribable hell on earth for me to witness people go against everything they claim to believe in, everything good and right, in service to their love of money and power. I've witnessed envy destroy people whose hearts I thought I knew. I've seen an unhealthy obsession with comfort and safety from countless others. These weaknesses stand between us and what we're up against. Up against, strangely, in quotes. It's very Trumpian of him. Which leads me to the video I'm about to release. I'm not suicidal, but I'm also not afraid to die. All right, we'll talk about it on the other side, but that's rather dramatic for this particular video. I think he's broken things that were more worthy of that kind of a pronouncement than this. So here I stand. I can do no other. As has been said, if they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me. Let's do this. Let's get 2024 started. Let's inspire others to be brave. Let's raise the stakes. Let's expose them all. I think that's what he's going for there. All right, so Charlie Krager, a cybersecurity policy analyst and foreign affairs desk officer in the executive office at the White House, that's who he ensnared in this video. So let's see what he got him on camera saying.
I work at the White House.
So you're pretty high up in the government.
Yeah, I'm fairly high up. I'm good at keeping secrets, and so I manage 2 federal agencies, the State Department and USAID.
So when you say it's like security, like you're protecting
the networks of the federal agencies
that
you give all your information to.
The mission is to protect information.
And we are like the president's voice when we go into meetings in terms of discussing and promoting the president's priorities.
Is he going to be the nominee?
Yes. And she will be the vice president nominee.
Yeah, I don't...
There was a debate about removing her from the ticket, but sadly they didn't. She can't keep black staff. They quit on her in mass.
But with him...
I know.
He's got dementia.
Yeah, well, he's definitely slowing down.
But they know that he has those issues.
I think so.
But they're not willing to say it.
Shows it. And
they're not willing to say it publicly.
And same thing with Kamala Harris.
Okay, so I just want to point something out here. If you look at the language that he's using, he's not claiming there to be privy to personal conversations with high-ranking people. He's saying, I think so, the polling shows it. He doesn't even actually say that anyone has told him this. Anything, Keaton?
Well, yeah, I mean, the revelation seems to be that Biden's inner circle doesn't have much faith in him, which I think we've seen before. I mean, I don't think that's the kind of thing they have to, they would whack you for. But the thing I was a little surprised about is that he seems confident that Biden is going to be the nominee, because I am predicting a convention switcheroo of some sort.
Okay, but Yeah, he's not like the White House page, but he's not an inner circle guy either. And this is something else about this series of gay men that they've ensnared on camera, which we'll get to your tweet a little bit later. But okay, man, in a date context, people puff themselves up. You know, I mean, it's not that I think there's nothing there in these videos, but it's also a little hard to parse out how much is the person's personal inside knowledge and how much is them trying to get laid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this kind of seems like a pretext for James O'Keefe to date guys without having to come out as gay.
Maybe.
You know? That's what it sounds like to me.
It's hard to explain it any other way.
It's a great construct, right?
Yeah, right.
Tune in for part 2 where I jerk him off in the bathroom.
and supposedly there's
in that segment, you know, just okay, tune in for part 3 when I tell him I'm James O'Keefe.
while he reams me over an armoire.
I tell him I'm James O'Keefe while he's washing his hands.
I swear I was just like, are we on Rumble? Yeah, we're on Rumble. Okay.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't make that joke on YouTube. Are you crazy?
She's not popular, but you can't remove the first black lady to be vice president from the goddamn presidential ticket. Like, what kind of message are you going to send to, like, the African-American voter? How would you spin that? People would be like, what the fuck? Like she's a woman and she's multiracial. I think that they're really concerned about this.
But they won't say it. Well, I guess if they say it publicly,
correct.
Biden is they can't say it publicly.
No, they got to toe the line.
Privately? But they won't say it publicly.
Correct.
Biden is they can't say it publicly.
No, they got to toe the line.
Privately?
I'm just telling you what I've heard. Like, yep.
You're just telling me the truth.
Does it make sense? No, but that's what I've heard. I've had a meeting with Michelle Obama at one point when I was an intern, and someone asked her, will you ever run for office? And she said no, emphatically no.
Really?
I've seen all the shit my husband has had to go through, and that does not interest me.
Okay, so is that really so earth-shattering that you think your life is in danger? They gossip around the office at the fucking White House. They know Biden is one step away from an all applesauce diet, that Kamala sucks, and Michelle doesn't want to run for president because she doesn't want to deal with that shit. I mean, you could read People magazine for these revelations. Anything, Keaton, before we...
I mean, there were reports of Biden's inner circle saying they didn't have confidence that he could cross the finish line in the 2020 campaign.
Right. Well, they were talking openly about him in cognitive decline until they couldn't say that anymore. You had...
until they couldn't say that, and until COVID kind of,
Cory
made
Booker?
that less relevant because it was a lockdown campaign anyway. But in the run up to like Super Tuesday, and even in that very brief period between Super Tuesday when it was obvious he was going to be the nominee and the time that the lockdowns hit, I think there was about 10 days there. Yeah, you heard a lot of chatter that, wow, looks like we're stuck with this guy.
Yep. Andrea Mitchell talked about his cognitive decline.
Yes.
And then you weren't allowed to. They all stopped. All of a sudden it became ableist. It all became a stutter with a weird racist twist.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Michael Tracy here said O'Keefe was teasing last night that he could get literally murdered for this video. Murdered, apparently, for catching a mid-level IT staffer at the White House, making the shocking revelation that Joe Biden is slowing down, Kamala Harris is unpopular, and Michelle Obama won't run for anything. Blockbuster stuff. Maybe if some genuine government secrets were revealed here, it could possibly justify hoaxing this hapless guy who thinks he's on a gay date with O'Keefe and humiliating him publicly. But there are no government secrets revealed. Just repetition of gossipy conventional wisdom about U.S. politics. The guy literally cites the New York Times as one of his sources. No improprieties are exposed in the supposedly murder-worthy investigation, which is unfortunate for anyone who might have assumed O'Keefe was risking his life for the noble cause of uncovering something journalistically significant. Instead, looks like it's just some more standard viral chum to throw down the well of the scammy online right-wing media ecosystem. Hey, man, when it's true, it's true. So this is this is the wit of my erstwhile partner here. I didn't write this one. Can't James O'Keefe hire a woman he trusts so he can start exposing straight guys too? I mean, it's a good question. There are plenty of MAGA women who would love the gig.
Of course. And, you know, I mean, a lot of those MAGA women are very, very good looking. You know,
true.
And he's really limiting himself, you know, by having to do all these himself. Right.
It's true. And I find the MAGA women.
Although, couldn't he expose some women on the inner circle? This is why I say maybe this whole thing is a setup.
Although women, I mean, they're not as eager on a date that way. Right.
Right.
Like you'd have to date them for a year and maybe put a ring on it before you get anything like that. Like guys are just, you know, puffing themselves up, whether gay or straight, apparently.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think of that. You're right. Yeah, he should get a woman then, because that would be great, because guys love talking themselves up to women, especially guys on the inside, you know, with big hot shots with knowledge of the president, and, you know, why not do that?
I would honestly, I mean, as much as, you know, guys are guys, like, actually, I've mentioned this book a few times. I highly recommend it. Louise Perry's The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. And one of the points she makes about the differences of sexual behavior between men and women is, well, if you want to see what sex looks like in a world without women putting a check on it, look at the world of gay people. Now, there are a certain number of gay people who are just monogamous, heterosexual, very conventional. But you do have a certain portion of that community that has sex at a level that it just doesn't even exist in the heterosexual world, because women have to agree to it, right? They're just not going to be that open to random sex in a bathroom. Whereas you got two guys, those inhibitions are not there. So I suspect if you actually got a woman to do this, you'd get a lot more. You get a bunch of straight guys trying to impress a woman. Forget about it.
Exactly.
These guys will be giving away. They'll be giving away the nuclear codes on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right. A lot of those MAGA women, they have that like biker babe kind of robust aesthetic. You know.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's got to be a rarity in the DC metro area. It would be too good to be true.
They're all vegans. They look like their bones are going to break if they slam a car door to
right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's my point. Like, they would be a great honeypot, right? Because these you know, higher up DC men don't meet too many women like that.
Well, you know what, Keaton?
And then you wouldn't have to worry about getting killed either. They'll just kill the woman.
It's true.
You can go through them.
All right. So look, I am a big believer in be the change you want to see in the world. So this is us soliciting women to submit to our email. We're going to send you out to ensnare high-ranking White House officials. So
I don't want to do that. If you should do that.
Well, if you feel you'd be good for the job, let us know why. Send us a resume, and we'll see what we can work out. All right, so Gogatoya. O'Keefe in disguise. It's just glasses. It worked. I don't ever want to hear nerds complain about Superman's disguise ever again. I've said that many times. Haven't you ever run into somebody without glasses and been like, hang on, is that person? So the Superman thing is more plausible than you think. Go ahead, Keaton, take off your glasses. Show them how different.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we could test it right now.
Say, who is that? Look. Right? Who is that? Right? So, yeah, you shouldn't make fun of the Superman premise because, there's Keaton again. See?
I'm back.
He's back. All right, we are going to go to a card, and we will be right back.
There are many Christians in the Roman Church. There's no question about that. There are many good Christians in the Roman Church, but there is nothing fundamentally Christian about the Roman Church. Now, the Roman Church set about destroying the ancient wisdom, making sure that it could not be accessed. From the time that the Library of Alexandria was destroyed, we lost the ability to read the hieroglyphs. And that's something that we didn't recover until the 19th century. But the wisdom was retained. And because of the oppression of the Roman Church, it had to be retained in secret. And the Knights Templar, some say they were founded a little bit earlier, but fundamentally the Knights Templar was just a group of 9. Don't be fooled by the myths about them being the protectors of the pilgrims. That was the Knights Hospitalier. But the Knights Templar were after something. And what was it? Yeah? I mean, Graham Hancock is here tomorrow, and he may touch on his research because maybe they were looking for the Ark of the Covenant. Sacred geometry. And we see here in London evidence of sacred geometry in the London architecture. This is the pyramid on top of the pillar, and the pillars are representing the 2 pillars at the front of the Temple of Solomon, Boaz and Jachin. And this was believed, ancient wisdom, to bring energy into the earth. And one of the reasons that Tony Blair was so adamant that the dome was going to be built was to obtain the symmetry here between the male and the female. Here's the female, here's the male, the pillar, and Boaz and Jachin. The desire to bring energy into the city of London and abuse it.
So, Project Veritas, James O'Keefe posts, which looks like, I think on Instagram, a perfect replica of the Ark of the Covenant, 2,700 hours of labor, 6 pounds of gold at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's estate. And Donnie Darkins here, he says, a few months ago, a report came out that Donald Trump has the possession of ancient Israeli artifacts in his home that they've been trying to get back. He speculated that one of them was the Ark of the Covenant. What if? Well, the rabbis actually believe that the Ark of the Covenant is buried under somewhere near the Temple Mount. But he's right about the article. 6 months ago, this is The Guardian, treasures lent by Israel for White House event, quote, stranded at Mar-a-Lago. Antiquities from Israel's National Treasures collection. Of course, they're at Mar-a-Lago because Trump is so kosher. Antiquities from Israel's National Treasures collection have ended up at Trump's Florida estate, says reports, but apparently this wasn't the real Ark of the Covenant from Israel. It's a replica made by a supporter. Laura Loomer photoed here. Laura Loomer is Trump's #1 girl, probably his new mistress, #1 cheerleader of Trump. No, he didn't. The Ark was made by a supporter. It was unveiled at a private dinner at Mar-a-Lago with about 20 people. She knows because she was one of those people who was invited and in attendance at the dinner, which was very focused on the topics of spiritual warfare against the nations and Judaism. Spiritual warfare with Trump, their messianic figure, to destroy America under the guise of making America great again. So Laura Loomer hanging out at the exclusive, private Ark of the Covenant Jewish spiritual warfare meetings. Oh, yeah, Trump's going to make America great again. He's going to take out the deep state, I'm sure. He's going to be more Zionist than ever with Kushner back in there. Look at that big old gold. 6 pounds of the Ark of the Covenant. Laura Loomer and James O'Keefe at this private event.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit